guys, so good afternoon. It is Tuesday today. Got the afternoon off, had all my clients this morning and then had to do some admin, let's call it admin stuff. And today I've just come out on the bike, just for a nice easy endurance spin. So recently I've been doing loads of short, sharp sessions because of this thyroid thing, but the game has changed now. Hey guys, so I'm about halfway through my training ride and I wanted to stop and talk a little bit about what's going on with this health issue I have, this underactive thyroid. That's probably why you haven't seen me doing anything crazy for the past few months. Obviously, COVID has stopped a lot, but also my health just hasn't been up to scratch. So if you don't know, probably about 3 months ago, I went to the doctors because I was getting really tired and they said I could have Lyme disease. It came back that I had to go back in a few weeks, but they also told me I had an underactive thyroid. And this means that my body doesn't convert energy from food properly, and it's obviously a very big problem when you're ultra cycling or doing anything really sporty. So you find you run out of energy quickly, and even when you want to get more energy, it's very hard to get hold of. It has a lot of bad side effects like depression and things like this. It's just not very pleasant. So they originally said come back in a few weeks and get another test, and I did a lot of studying, I did a lot of reading, and I got told it was pretty rare that this was going to go away. So I just accepted it. You know, I thought I'm going to hold off going back to the doctors for quite a while because I don't be medicated. I was moving house anyway, work picked up, so it just basically meant that I had about an 8-week break before I got tested again. I went back, got tested, and they said I was negative. What does negative mean? So eventually I got to talk to a really good doctor, and she said, well, you're negative for Lyme disease. You know, luckily enough, you haven't had Lyme disease. And I was like, brilliant, because that was a big worry of mine as well. And then I got another test for the thyroid and I had to go back again. And she said, Robbie, you're really lucky because it's returned back to normal again. And like I said, this is really rare that this actually happens. And she said, you know, you need to maybe go a little bit easier on your body. And, you know, she was saying, you do realize that top athletes take months off each year. You're riding a lot of miles all year round. You know, you're pushing yourself a lot. And she said, you've even told me that your diet's never been amazing. You undereat a lot. And these are things that studies have shown. There's not really scientific evidence, but from what I'm reading online, studies have shown that if you don't get your nutrition right and doing extreme sports like ultra cycling, it can eventually lead to this. And she said, call this one a warning, that you're lucky to come back to normal. You need to start looking after yourself a little bit better. So that's kind of where it's at. So I'm very lucky that it's come back into a normal bracket where they don't want to medicate me. But still, you know, it was a very big warning for me, and it was a very hard time because I knew my life and ultra cycling was going to be very, you know, challenged by having an underactive thyroid, especially going into a race or something. Even mentally, that could have really affected me. Hey guys, so talking of the hypothyroidism, there was a few things that I did that I think really benefited, you know, it recovering. And the first thing being, I actually took a lot of time to look into my life. You know, I was moving house at the time this was all going on, and that was quite stressful, so I'm sure that didn't help. The next thing is I was working a lot. So after coming out of lockdown, I started working a lot, and it was becoming a bit much. So I dropped some of my workload, and that really helped. The next thing I did was I started to make sure my diet was a bit more on point. So I was eating enough food to get by, also enough food for training as well. I started tracking my food on MyFitnessPal, and that really helped. I made sure I was getting lots of protein, a really mixed, balanced diet in. On top of that, another thing that I did do was rest a lot more when I needed to. That really, really helped me. And I cut my training really to a bare minimum. So instead of doing like 15, 20 hours a week, I actually went down to literally doing 5, 6 hours a week. I put the intensity a lot higher and I just wrote off the endurance miles. And looking at the big picture, I'm really proud that I was able to do that, because I always worry, oh, if you don't cycle X amount of hours, you're going to put on weight. And I was really good in balancing everything. And I think just after the move had finished and everything being a bit less stressful, I was working less, I had more time to relax. It kind of, everything started to bring back a little bit of energy and it all came together. I'm very lucky that this has returned. And like I say, it was a big warning flag of how extreme riding a bike 20 hours a week can be, or too much. And how, oh, I'll just have a few hours sleep tonight, and how that can catch you up and really get under the skin. And it's really made me think about how I need to move forward. And I will still race again, I still ultra cycle, I love cycling. But I'm going to do it with quite a lot of caution, and I'm going to keep going back to the doctors and getting checked every so often if I start getting tired again. Because, you know, I'm not out the woods with this. I could start training and racing again and it could all come back. You just don't know. The thing is, the doctors are saying, because what I was doing was quite extreme and I wasn't looking after myself well enough, you know, this could happen again. So it's just going to be a thing of just approaching with caution. But I'm just glad that I've got all this energy again and life's getting back to normal. And it's, you know, it's exciting to think what's around the corner.